Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining in. Today we will be talking about how to discover your breath in the right manner. So we'll begin with your breathing. We will try to find your diaphragm, getting into the flow and linking your breath to the sound in the words. I want to give you some sound advice, some good advice, and some good news. You are the owner of a fine wind instrument. You're not aware. That's the place from where your voice comes out. Your vocal apparatus, it doesn't look particularly like a wind instrument because the moving parts are hidden inside you. But your voice works like a trumpet or a clarinet. We have already talked about the trumpeting of the voice. The first step towards having a great voice is to know the basics of using your instrument in the right manner. How you breathe in and how you breathe out with the sound coming out. That's what we will be discussing today. Making a sound, how your voice works. Let's talk about that. Your mouth and your throat are very complex and multi-purpose. They are involved in eating, they are involved in speaking, singing, shouting, crying, laughing. But the basic sound making process is straightforward. It all starts with the breath. When we go into demystifying your breath, it's just hot air, right? The part of your voice that creates the sound is very small. Your vocal folds, your vocal cords are a couple of bands of muscles who are stretched horizontally across the larynx, which is the voice box in your neck. They're tiny. They're around 1 to 2 or a half centimeters long, shorter in a woman than a man. The muscles, they vibrate to produce your voice. The vibration causes the sound. You produce sound when air passes through these folds and creates a vibration, like the wind whistling through the trees. That's your voice. That's the warmth. That's the vibrating air. I say, just your vocal folds are very active, vibrating at least 100 times per second. Sometimes much more. Your vocal folds need to be free from tension in order to vibrate freely. We have discussed this in the previous episodes that till the time you don't feel a relaxation in your body, you can't feel a relaxation in your vocal folds, they won't vibrate in the right manner. You won't be able to feel the power of the voice coming out. If your throat is tight, your vocal folds, they will never vibrate naturally or freely. They will experience tremendous physical stress. Freedom of your vocal folds is crucial if you want to make a good sound. That means if you want to make a good sound, if you want the power of the voice, first feel the relaxation in your body. The second step is amplifying the sound. All the instruments that we use, like trumpets and clarinets or percussions, they use the mechanism of amplifying the sound. A bell rings clearly because the sound echoes around inside the concave form. A clarinet is a bell shaped at the end to augment the sound. The old gramophone had a sound trumpet. Your tiny vocal folds, they need a bit of help to ramp up the sound they produce. That's where your body comes in. When you speak freely, your voice resounds in your head and echoes in your chest and the other parts of your body. Your body is hollow and empty. Your voice volume is amplified many times because of your body. Your whole body is involved in amplifying the sound from the head to the toe and the back. The body of a guitar or a double bass is used to create a great sound. Your body is used to create a great voice. The day you understand, the day you get this awareness, you start connecting your body more to the voice. The greatest difference between people with wonderful voices and people with weak voices is how they use their breath and the resonating spaces from their body. Maria Callas, one of the greatest sopranos in history, she was studying her craft. She used to watch her canary to see how it breathed. She was captivated by the way the bird used to use the whole body and energy to create the wonderful song, and she imitated that technique. This is called the imitation technique. in creating her own sounds. You can see a similar body engagement if you watch a baby cry, a dog bark, or the chimpanzee make sounds to protect its territory. In the following sections, we will discover how to engage the body completely into producing a powerful voice. Let's start with the breathing. I don't imagine you normally worry much about the air when you speak. If you're like most people when they talk, you may be thinking out come the words, possibly even just the last bit. Speaking fluency, extremely important. Developing the ability to speak well is about rediscovering the air. You're something of a breath expert. Think about it. What authority in any other subject has pursued the field of expertise since the day you were born? But you have. From the moment you uttered your first cry, you've been breathing. When you were born, that was the first wonderful breath, and that first cry was free and full. Breathing is everything when you speak. Specifically, breathing gives your words power, brings life to what you say, sustains the sounds you make, creates the interest in when people listen to you, provides the basis of emotional intensity in your voice, provides subtlety and shades of meaning, serve as the lifeblood of your inspiration when you communicate. Breathing has a law of going. I want you to take the time to get your breathing working well before you utter a single sound and try to understand the difference and the progress as a speaker. Fortunately, you already know how to breathe. Chances are that you breathe really well when you're asleep. However, in the stresses and tensions of living, your breathing becomes a bit shallow and restricted. In the following section, I'll help you to reconnect with your breathing. Let's talk about becoming aware of your breathing. If you aspire to having a great voice, you simply need to rediscover your breathing by bringing it to your conscious attention for a while. This is an activity. What I want you to do is sit or lie calmly for a while in a quiet place. You can sit on an upright chair, you can lie flat on a bed or on the floor. If you're lying down, put a small cushion under your head. If you're sitting, don't slump. Instead, find a position that is comfortable. Take a few moments to settle into the peace and quiet. I want you to observe the wave of your natural breathing with a sense of curiosity. Consider what is actually happening as you breathe in and out. You're not trying to change anything at this stage, no judging. You just want to note what happens. Ask yourself, what are the parts of my body which are the most aware right now? Which parts of my body are gently moving as the air is moving in and out? Are you aware of your upper chest? Are you aware of your belly moving? What about the ribs? Are they involved? Is there any movement in the back? Do you sense the air entering your nose? Does your throat make itself felt? It's a very powerful body scan or a mindfulness exercise. I want you to mentally scan your whole body. Pay attention to the areas that are taking part in your breathing. Just be aware, that is all. Continue for a couple of minutes or for as long as you remain curious. Observing your breathing without trying to control is a great practice for your voice. While you work through the various activities, you will be thinking consciously about breathing, but breathing is a natural reflex. Therefore, consciously trying to impose firm control over your breathing doesn't improve it in the long run. The most useful thing you can do to improve the ease and capacity of your breathing, remove the tensions. Your natural reflexes are able to do their work. Tension, tension, tension. Put all your attention on the tension and remove the tension. Now let's come to thinking low. When you breathe correctly for speaking, many different parts of your body are involved in the process in an easy, coordinated way. However, when you're just starting to pay great attention to your breathing, you may be tempted to overemphasize any instruction to use a particular part of the body. When you do, the breathing process gets distorted and you end up more constricted than before. For example, if I say take in a really big breath or push your ribs out, you may put so much effort into these actions that the subtle nuances of the parts of breathing are lost. Don't do that. I can offer one instruction that you're likely to find particularly useful as you focus on your breathing. Think low in a friendly, curious way. Pay attention to your abdomen, the lower part of your body. Invite the muscles that are most useful for supporting the voice. And at the same time, leave the area around your vocal folds free from getting involved in the breathing process. Try to focus all your attention as if the breathing is coming from the diaphragm. Let's call it diaphragmatic breathing. Repeat the breathing awareness practice in the lying down position. You can also do it in a chair. Breathe gently in and out through your nose for a few moments. Turn your attention to the different aspects of your breathing. Now, turn your attention to your belly. Place your hands lightly on that area for a few breaths. Pay attention how you can allow your belly to rise, come out, go inside, breathe in, breathe out. Feel how the soft part of your body is going comfortably up, down with the breathing. Moving your hands up on in the breath and down on the out breath. Imagine that your belly is a balloon. Let it gently expand and go back. Expand and contract. Repeat this several times. Keep everything simple, easy. You're breathing beautifully. This is how you need to breathe when you speak. When you breathe in, it should come out. When you breathe out, it should go inside like a balloon. Continue to breathe in through your nose and begin to breathe out through your mouth in a sigh of comfort and pleasure. Think of an evening when you arrive home after a busy day. You sink down in the sofa, you put your feet up and you sigh and you say, this is good. Breathe in, out again with a contented sigh, making an audible ah. Repeat a few times. Feel how each out breath naturally becomes fuller, longer in the process, causes a fuller, deeper in breath. Don't force it. Just observe how it happens naturally. If you feel dizzy at any point, just pause for a few moments until the dizziness passes. Feeling dizzy is quite natural, especially if you're not used to the breathing deeply. You will soon get used to the breathing practice and will no longer experience dizziness. Breathing for speaking is the same as for living, only instead of the in-breath and the out-breath being much the same length, your out-breath needs to be longer because sound is produced only when you're breathing out. Also, the sound should always be produced when you're breathing out. You make this longer out-breath naturally when you sigh. Now we will come into engaging your diaphragm. Now normally voice has a process of breathing sound. Sometimes it's very complicated. When you speak in a normal conversation, you're often speaking to someone close to you and you don't usually talk in a long, extended sentences. Your need for air is not very great. But if you want to protect and you want to project to a larger audience or say something more protracted or emotionally charged, you need to take larger breaths. And as an added bonus, you sound better when you breathe more fully. Let's come to the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a powerful muscle which is fixed to your lower ribs, the breastbone and the parts of your back. When you breathe in, the diaphragm contracts and flattens downwards, allowing the lungs to expand. When you breathe out, it allows it to contract. You don't actually feel the diaphragm as you breathe. Instead, you're aware of the connecting muscles in your stomach, even the lower down in the groin and your buttocks. When the belly is tight, it restricts the movement of the diaphragm and impedes your breathing. When the diaphragm is free to work well, it is the secret of a powerful voice. The power of your voice depends on the power of your breath. The quality of your voice depends on the quality of your breath. When you feel your belly taking part in the action of breathing, your diaphragm is coming into the play. Actors, singers are aware of the important role played by the diaphragm. Your distinguished diaphragm examines the amazing muscles in greater detail. Using your diaphragm well is not about blowing yourself up alarmingly with air. There was this BBC series of the children's story, 5 Children and It. It released in the US as a sand fairy. The psalm head of the fairy grants wish by stretching out his eyes, holding his breath, swelling alarmingly. Some speakers look much like this psalm when they take a breath. Fortunately, breathing for speaking is much simpler and gentler than this. I remember When I was in school, there was this poem by Vikram Seth, The Frog and the Nightingale, where the frog kept on telling the nightingale to puff and huff the air and to increase the size of the lungs as if they are protruding out, so that she can feel the power in her voice. Don't be misled by the repeated phrase, breathe in. You aren't aware of your body moving in when you take in air. Instead, you feel your body expand out. Keep your diaphragm mobile, flexible. If you aspire to be fit with a flat, hard belly, carry a lot of tension in that area which constricts your diaphragm. It's unable to move. Over time, you lose the habit of keeping your diaphragm flexible. That affects your breathing. Pranayama, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, all these things are extremely important. If you want to have a control over your diaphragm, you have to have a control over your breath, your sound, your tensions. This will affect your breath if you don't work on your diaphragm. Eventually, your health, your well-being, everything will be affected. If you pull your belly in, you can breathe in deeply. If you have a harder time making good sounds, try to become more aware. Allow your belly to expand outwards as you take a deep breath. Oh, you can try some of the practices. You can stand facing a wall. Place the palms of your hands at about shoulder height against the wall. Lean a little towards the wall with your weight, almost like you're doing a push-up. With your arms slightly bent and push firmly. As you push, breathe in and out. Release your shoulders as you breathe without letting your arms collapse. Stand in a balanced position with your legs shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward. This is also used for posture. Many people who are into body language and all, they always go in for posture exercises like these. Cross your arms snugly across your chest. Hug yourself tightly with your hands clasping your back. Bend forward from the waist until your back is horizontal. Clasp yourself tightly. Keep your knees soft. Everything should be relaxed. The whole body should be relaxed. In this position, breathe. Feel the movement. Feel the movement of the breath. Feel the movement of the energy in the lower parts of your body, including your back, your solar plexus. And come back to a standing position very gently. Take full breaths. Although the diaphragm is the most important muscle for breathing, other parts of your body are involved in the process as well. There are some activities which will give you a lot of information about your breathing and stimulate your whole breathing apparatus at the same time. Stand up tall, relax, sigh out firmly, quickly through your mouth, making the sound woo, woo, until you've expelled all your air. Doing so gets rid of all the old air in your lungs and allows you to take a fuller in-breath. Don't collapse or slouch in the process. When your lungs are empty of air, shut your mouth. Hold your nose close with the fingers. Raise your ribcage, stay in suspension without stiffening up in your... You will begin to feel the pressure of a large vacuum going inside you. Don't push yourself until you become dizzy or feel weak, but do wait until your body wants to take in air. Don't do it if you're not comfortable, because many people have a lot of anxiety and all. Don't do it if you start feeling really uncomfortable. Till the time you don't have a control over your breath. What you can also do as an alternative is you can take a bucket of water. You can dip your head inside. You can breathe in through your mouth, and you can release or bubble out the bubbles inside the water from your nose. It's called bubbling. It's a very powerful process. All the swimmers that do this. Okay, another way to do it, that feel the tensions releasing from your belly, your rib cage, your lower chest and your upper chest. So these are some powerful exercises that you can do which will help you to breathe and have a control over the relaxing of the tensions inside your body. I want you all to do these exercises today and let me know with your vocal feedbacks how exactly it's working in your favor. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be starting the 4th season soon. I hope everyone is finding it as a great journey, and let me know your feedback, your vocal feedbacks, what all you want me to talk about next. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for listening. Take care and have a great day.